Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Air Hauler with me, Herd37. So we've been flying the 747, and I'm probably going to do some more videos on it. Actually, have it going up to, we're going to fly, in another episode, we're going to be flying up to Hong Kong. We're going to be doing the, flying to Kai Tak, where one of our bases is. There's another pilot right now flying it up there, so I can't really do it just yet. For this episode, though, we are going to be flying the MD-11. I believe it's the Martin Air. I don't think we ever showed that livery. But we're going to be flying from Juneau to Bozeman. And one of the great things is we have scenery for both airports, both by Orbex or FTX. And also have a bunch of scenery for the surrounding scenery, the southern Alaska, and for the Juneau area, and then Bozeman is in the Central Rockies area, so we'll have some scenery for that as well. So let's go ahead and move on over. I can't remember if I've loaded it or not. Yeah, I've loaded it. Let's see. It's actually about 1,200 some miles when you throw in the SID. There is no star, so we don't have to add any fuel or anything like that. Go to day flight, and I think there's only like one area. I hope we see, it's a large. I think we need a bigger one. I hope we can get through that, because I remember we parked our A321s there, and it's kind of a tight area. I don't know if the MD-11 will fit or not. Hopefully it does, or else we're screwed. All right, but let's go ahead and move on over to the plane. All right, here we are. It's a weird... When I started this thing up, it had like these dummy windows and all this kind of stuff. I remember the first time I tried to fly it with the old computer, it did that. Kind of worrisome. I didn't know if I was going to be able to start this thing up or not. As you can see, it's already started up, so we won't. I'm not going to do the. I didn't want to do the entire startup procedure anyway. To be quite honest, it is a little time consuming. So let's just go on down to the FMC. I do have the startup procedures if I need them. I'm not sure if I'm going to need them or not. Alright, for our company route, we are PAJN. And to Bozeman is KBZN. Because this is obviously different from our FMC and the Boeing that we're so used to. I use a cost index of 75. I'm not sure what our... Because we got to get our weight in there. Let me just check something real quick on these procedures. Because it's going to talk about our cruise levels and everything, but one thing I was wondering, because I started this up a minute ago as well, to make sure I even knew how to get this thing off the ground again. See, it's got the cruise levels in there before you do the weights, and how can it tell you the optimal and maximum flight level if it doesn't know how heavy you are? Let's start with 30,000. Actually, let's do up to 320. I'm not sure how far this is going to let us get. All those step-ups. Alright, so optimal is actually 35,000. Geez, I don't know. Actually, I'll go ahead and keep that. Optimal is 35,000, but we need to actually technically be on an even flight level. Because we're going south more than east. Alright, so we've got our cost index. Need to go page over. To get our fuel and everything. Useful fuel R1. Yeah, I'm not sure why it says click R1. I don't care about that. We need to go over to the load manager real quick and put in our fuel and everything. So let's go ahead and move over there real quick. Alright, so here we are at the load manager. It's just like the 747. Our cargo is like 68,000 pounds. Where is our cargo? There it is, 71,000. So if we take one off, maybe one of these small ones. Yeah, 68,750. Yeah, so that's close enough. It's a little bit more, but I mean, it's a few thousand pounds. It's not like we can get it exact anyway. So fuel needs to be 176. 176,658. Oh, that's right. This one, this is by 500 pounds. So we'll go 177. Since we can't actually, it's almost better than the 747 the way it does it because it doesn't go up pound by pound. So fuel is actually 176,658. So we'll just go. Actually, we get close. Nah, that's closer. We'll go ahead and use that, and that kind of counteracts the weight. Although I'm more concerned about the fuel than the actual cargo because the fuel is counted that we burn in FSX, or in air hauler, I should say. Alright, well, let's go ahead and move back on over to the plane. Okay, so you'll see that it switched over to 176.5 now, which is exactly what we wanted. Enter 0 fuel weight. I can't remember if we can do that or not. Alright, there's 0 fuel weight. 0 fuel weight, center of gravity. I think that was center of gravity. I'm not sure if that stands for that or not. And then takeoff, I guess it would be center of gravity. 22.4. Alright, and then we go back over to flight plan, or to flight plan, I should say. And I'm pretty sure it's easier from this standpoint, from this point on, I should say. Alright, so let's click over to SID. We are taking off on runway 26. Our SID is Juneau 5 with a transition of SSR. So we go ahead and hit insert on that. Alright, so runway 26. See, I don't like how it like when you hit up there, it takes you over to the end. It's very odd. And to get down, instead of hitting down, you hit up to go later in the thing. Alright, so let's... Also, in the discontinuities, instead of clicking on the bottom one and moving it up, you click on clear and then take it out. And then another thing I don't like is you'll see Bozeman right here. Watch when we hit our star and we're gonna land on ILS runway 12. There is no star. But insert. Alright, and then when we come back to the flight plan, you'll see Bozeman at 11,804. It's just odd. You have to hit clear that one out. Clear out the discontinuity. And then you'll see runway 12 down here. I don't know, it's kind of odd. Then you can roll back to the beginning. I thought there was one other one, because I put this flight plan in earlier. Like I said, I was testing out. There's 2 discontinuities up here, but I guess there's only one, maybe. Alright, so now we've got that. Flight plan in it. It's not really the page. I'm not sure why it says flight plan in it, because there's no flight plan in it. There's just this in it. So it takes you back to the fuel block, but we've already done that, so I'm not sure why it's going over there. We'll go to takeoff and approach. I'm not sure of the exact flaps that you're supposed to use. We're going to use 15. This plane has the dial-up flaps. If you remember that, I'll do that in a second. So I'm going to do it at 15. I don't see the takeoff flex. It says 50 to 70 for non-derated. So how about we just put in 60? That's a good middle number. Slope is always 0. And I don't know. Let's say that there's a 5-knot wind. I'm not sure where I would even find that. I know FlightSim Commander didn't have that. By the way, FlightSim Commander 9.6 is a little different. It has the weather. I believe it downloads it from the NOAA. I can't remember what that exactly stands for, but I'm hoping it's more accurate than it was before, because I remember I told everybody it wasn't the most accurate thing in the world. I believe the temperature listed as 16 degrees outside. Oops, 16 Celsius. Not sure what that is in Fahrenheit. Alright, our V speeds right here. 1, rotate V2. And those are in. And our stabilizer trim will be 6.6. I'm going to go ahead and put the brakes in takeoff. Okay, so that is automatically on. Like I said, 15 on the flaps. It's already set to 15, so we'll just click that to dial a flap here in just a second. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and trim it. And if you want, let me move this over and you can see, basically you need it in the green, but I think what it was at 6.6, so I'll try to get it as close. I can't promise that I'll nail it. Let me see if I use this button. Alright, I can nail it if I use the button. There we go, 6.6. Have not flown this plane. Actually, haven't flown it since Air Hauler. Our V2 speed was 171. So it's been a while. We're taking off, what, runway 26? I'm not sure of the exact heading of the runway, so I'll just put 260. I thought about taking off on runway 28, because it just looks so daggone cool. I'll show you that in a second. Alright, so we're pretty much ready. I mean, we probably don't have any of our lights on, do we? Let's say, okay, so the nose light is on taxi. Don't need those on. Don't really need the logo on. Beacon is on. High intensity, I believe, is the strobe. So actually, it looks like that stuff is all correct. Alright, parking brake is off. There's no pushback. If you want to see the area that we're in. It's beautiful scenery, man. I love this airport. I love this area. I think Alaska is just so beautiful. Surprised that there's snow over there. Doesn't seem like that area is that high elevation compared to the rest of the area. But whatever. Alright. We got radios for the minimums is set. I'll have to look and remember exactly how we set all that stuff, like a range and all of that. I'll make sure I don't hit any of these other planes. Alright, so we can follow the taxi line without hitting anything. We're a little big for this area. I don't think they got a bunch of MD-11s and 747s coming into Juneau a whole lot. If ever. Alright. And right in front of us is the water runways. 8 and 26 as well. I thought it was pretty cool that they had, you know, water runways right beside it. There's a bunch of shows on Alaska if you ever watch. There's all kinds of them. Like The Last Alaskans is on right now. I guess it's a special one on Animal Planet. They have a homesteading show. Actually, the weird thing about the homesteading show is the people are related to the singer Jewel. If you remember her, she's from like the 90s, but that's like her close relatives. Like her uncle, I think it's her uncle and aunt and cousins. It's kind of weird. There's like a Railroad Alaska and all kinds of Building Alaska. There's all kinds of Alaskan shows. Wasn't there like Alaska State Patrol or something? I've seen a few episodes of Railroad Alaska, and I think one of the crazy things is in the state of Alaska, you can stand by the side of the railroad tracks, and they stop for you. I can't remember if they have to. I believe they have to. Like, you can just stand on the railroad tracks, and the passenger train comes along, they just stop for you, and you just get on with all your belongings or whatever. It's kind of crazy. Okay, but see, going forward like that, just runway 8, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to take off and just go shooting through the gap, but technically, you're not really supposed to. I think maybe you could, you know, if the wind was that way, but basically the wind was for the most part a crosswind. So I decided land on or use runway 26. I can't remember. I think though you land on. It's so weird. I can't remember if you land on 8 or not, because remember it has that kind of cool landing where it has the strobes showing you the path in. I thought that was maybe it is landing on runway 8. Maybe because you wouldn't come in from over here. I don't know. I should. I don't know. It's been a while since I've flown up here. I think we always took off this direction, but we were always going over to Anchorage, I believe. We went up there like a couple times and came back. Alright, let's stop right here. Let's put this in landing. We'll turn our strobe on. Let's set our flaps. Easiest way is just to click. I think you can do it this way. Whoops, I hit the wrong button. And there it's in dial-a flap. That's in takeoff. We need to set our spoilers. Okay, so that's gone green, and you see that the takeoff config is extinguished, which means we are correctly set up for takeoff. I can't remember the range button and everything. I'm thinking it was here. That range increase and decrease. Although it's not working. At all? Oh, there we go. Increase is apparently... Well, no, I guess... Alright. It just looked weird. There we go. That's fine right there. So it was working. I had it a little backwards in my head. I was looking for something else. Alright, so let's go ahead and get on the runway now. We'll see if we can take off without screwing something up. Should be able to. It's plenty of runway, even though we are in the higher elevation, so it should take a little bit more, but I practiced to take off, like I said. That was almost a good turn. We didn't quite go out far enough. There we go. You can see the flashing lights down here. It guides you in. Always thought that was kind of cool. Now, I can't remember if there's TCAS here or not. I wish the weather radar worked. That would be pretty cool. Here we go. Here's our TCAS. TARA, you can test if you want to. I don't see that it has a bias above or below. Alright, so I guess I don't see any bias above or below. Maybe it doesn't do that. Alright. Alright, let's go ahead and take off. Alright, stable at 60. Here we go. There's no toga, I don't believe, switch on this plane. If there is, I can't remember where it is. I don't think it has one, though. It might do it automatically. Can't remember. No, that was the A321 that did that automatically. A little off to the right.
V1. Rotate. Positive rate.
Gear up.
Gear up.
Very nice. I can't really read these small... So we're... I guess where it flaps retracted.
Flaps up.
And then we'll get to slats retracted. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit auto flight.
Auto flight.
Hit the nav. That controls the altitude and our speed, including ascent and descent speed. But it's about to click off. If this thing doesn't, it's climbing a little too steep. Yeah, you see it just clicked off because of that. So I'll, whoa. Alright, I just clicked it off. Let me put the nose down. She's wanting to climb a little too fast there. A little too steep. Gain some altitude, or gain some speed here. Can't really read this.
Slats retract.
Alright, I'm gonna pull back on the throttle a little bit. We're going too fast. We're already at over 250 knots, which we shouldn't be. Just click auto flight again. See if she does a little better this time. So we were too fast. Need to get this back over on the flight plan. There we go. Click off this auto brakes. There we go. Let's check the seatbelts. I don't know if that's necessary or not. We'll turn off the nose light. Those in auto. Not that it really matters. We're a cargo plane. We have no passengers. Let's take a look outside. Beautiful Martinair cargo livery. Juneau, probably too far back now. Yeah, can't really see it. Let's check this out. 250 knots. We're almost at 10,000 now. Alright, 10,000. We'll go ahead and click off the landing lights. And the only thing I can remember, we have to be careful on the descent, because I had a big problem for a while where it just didn't descend at the proper speed. I think maybe, I can't remember if that was because we were doing like 4x or not. I'll slow it down, make sure it's descending correctly. Rather important. But not the easiest plane to fly or land. I don't think I was ever very good at landing it, but what plane have I ever really been very good at landing? Alright, but everything looks pretty good. So I'll go ahead and speed it up. And we'll be back in just a bit. Alright guys, bringing it back. I've actually had it on normal speed the entire descent, just to make sure it didn't screw up. So far so good. I'm a little worried though that we're not gonna hit our... Can I not have both up at the same time? You can see we're at 13,200 feet. We've got to be at 10,000 feet and 250 knots right there. Value we need to be at 8,000 feet. As you can see, I'm not so sure we're gonna make it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and use the speed brake because now it is trying to slow down. Let's look at a couple things as well. Runway 12, it says 161 knots. Let me see one thing. Takeoff and approach. We will be landing with 35 flaps, so 161. Alright. Let's go back. Alright, we're at our speed, so let's get this up. So maybe we will make it. I don't know. We still got 4,000 feet to go. Oh no, I'm sorry. We're going to 10,000 feet right here. So not quite. It does it from... You can see that little dot at the middle of the plane. It doesn't count from the nose. So 11,400. It seems like we're still a little high, and it's not really trying to run a very steep descent here.
Slats extended.
Alright. As you can hear, I did the slats extended. Although we're supposed to do that 220, I'm not really sure. Value, we were supposed to be at 8,000. See, we're 700 feet too high already. By the way, we got overspeeded as soon as we went up to 4X the very first time, if you heard that. See, at Manny, we're supposed to be at 6,700. The runway is at 4,400. So 6,700 at Manny. Value, we're supposed to be at 8,000. This thing just isn't descending quick enough. We're 2,000 feet too high. I'm not sure if I took that over or not. Alright. Slowing down. Manny at 6,700 feet. Alright, I think I am controlling it. It felt like we were moving down quicker. 6,700 feet at Manny, right? Manny, 6,781. Put some more flaps out. Alright, so we got 2,000 feet to go to Manny. Hopefully we hit that. Coming up on our speed. Alright, coming up on our speed. I'll go ahead and get rid of that. By the way, we need to set our brakes. Minimum. Alright, there's normal or medium. We're almost at Manny, which we need to be at 6,700. So we're almost on it. See, we are high. You can see the... definitely high. Just send a little bit quicker. We need to get down.
2500.
Gear down.
35.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
161. Oh. Alright, so it looks like we're on the glide slope now. I think we actually put everything a little too soon. Alright, we got dual land. Our speed was a little high. I got a little worried there. And we were high. So not a good combination exactly. We are perfectly on the glide slope now. Did I even? No, I did not.
1000.
I was thinking about it, but 10,000, I never did this. Yes, I did. Hold on. This isn't the time to be doing this. Retracted, extended off, extended on, alright. Here we go.
500. Autopilot. 400. Autopilot.
I'm not sure why it's telling me that.
Minimum.
I know.
Auto minimum. Autopilot. Auto 100.
Alright.
Auto 50.
Off the
40,
thrust, we're a little
30,
to the right.
10.
Hit a little hard.
Autopilot.
Yeah, minor damage, it says.
Autopilot.
Reverse thrust developed.
Autopilot. Autopilot.
Come on.
Autopilot. Autopilot.
80 knots.
Manual braking, because we're going to go past this.
60 knots.
Autopilot.
We need to get off right here.
Autopilot. Autopilot.
Wow. But those brakes are hot as hell.
Autopilot. Autopilot.
Ah, come on, thing.
Autopilot. Autopilot. Autopilot.
Damn, did I just need to hit it one more time? I don't know. Alright. I guess we should hit them up. Taxi to parking.
Bozeman, round, Martin Airport, 8 heavy.
And we came in just a little hard.
Martin Airport, 8 heavy, taxi to general aviation parking, using taxiway Echo Alpha.
Although, I mean, I haven't flown this thing in half a year.
Via taxiway
I guess it
Echo
wasn't
Alpha,
horrible.
Martin Airport,
I,
heavy.
Well, tell me it's across the... Alright. Let me, get those off and put that on taxi. Strobe goes off too. I started the flare just a little too late. We came in a little hot, and I started the flare too late. And I knew I started too late. We were coming down so rapid. So it should have done better, but like I said, I haven't flown it in at least half a year, ever since we last flew an air hauler, and that was a very long time ago. Actually, I think the last time I ever did it was I did that FSX flight to Thessaloniki, I think, Vienna to Thessaloniki, and that was getting close to a year ago. Alright, nobody coming. We're clear across. So I guess it wasn't horrible. It said minor damage. And we got an overspeed. When I hit at 4x on our ascent, it did an overspeed, so not my fault on that. I can't control that. Oops, I can control us being in the grass with this small little taxiway. Need to go out a little bit further. This thing gets going in a hurry, though. I like it. The acceleration on this thing. It's not, whoa, it's not one of those planes you gotta wait forever for it to get going. Like the TriStar. This is more Orbex scenery. Love their scenery. Gotta say, they probably have the best scenery. Pause it. Get rid of that buzzsaw sound. Alright. Over here. See if I can at least get close. Yeah, I don't see the yellow line. Probably doesn't matter. Oh, it's diagonal, huh? Didn't know that. And we'll park right here. Let's hit our parking brake. And I'm not going to worry about the APU or anything like that. I didn't click it on where we landed. Cut the fuel. Oops. Lights. Alright, so it looks like... Well, I don't know if everything's off or not. Where's the battery? There, it sounded like everything went off. Can't even remember where the battery is. Maybe it didn't all go off. Still got some lights and stuff. I don't remember where the battery is. There. Battery's off. Alright, let's go ahead and move on over to Air Hauler. And get paid. Alright, here we are. We only did 2% damage. That's not horrible. I don't remember what the plane was at when we got it. So I don't know how much. I mean, we did 2% damage. The overspeed isn't my fault, so it is just 2% for us on the landing. Not horrible. Like I said, it's been almost a year since I've flown that thing. Alright, let's I want to check fleet real quick. Because if it's at 98, no. So I won't know how much damage we did. Hopefully not. 2%, it shouldn't be 500 grand worth. We might have made money on that flight. Bozeman is also a base. I wouldn't mind. I want to fly that plane again, man. It's a fun plane. Tucson, that's not too far. And that's a lot of money for just 820 miles. Seattle is one of our bases, but only 29 grand. I'd fly there. We have scenery for there now as well. Was it Taxi 2 Gate, I think? Maybe we might put it out. Detroit. We don't have scenery. We got surrounding scenery, but not airport scenery. Do have other ones. Cases. I want to say it's Cedar. I can't remember. What is that? I've been there a bunch in this game. We have that a lot. Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I can't remember. Idaho. Cedar Rapids, Idaho. I can't remember. That's Havana, Cuba. That's Savannah, Georgia. Not sure. I know KFW, but not in my head. And Istanbul. We have there might be something in Istanbul. There's usually something in Istanbul. They usually have some good flights. A lot of flights out of there. The Dublin, man, that would be actually not all that long. Heck, we just did 1,200 miles. I didn't know. Dublin and Istanbul only separated by 1,500 miles. That's kind of surprising. Don't know where that is. Nottingham, Batna. Some of these high. Well, that one's got 2, but we got not enough time. Another Batna. Yeah, just not enough time on some of those, but hopefully it'll generate some jobs in the near future. And that 747 might actually be there now. It is. That's sweet. I had the 747 as well take a flight over to St. Martin. Well, I'm going to fly out of there. We've got one of our 747s sitting in JFK, one in Denver. So I've kind of set some of these around where we can do some flights. Shanghai, we've got a plane waiting there. I'll show you this flight. I think we still got plenty of time to do this one. This was going to go to Hong Kong. I've never flown into Hong Kong, Kai-Tak. I should probably practice that, because it's not an easy one. They don't even use that airport anymore. Cargo Lex. WMKL. Yeah, it pays a ton, and we got almost a day to do it. So that should be nice. Going to Kai-Tak. That's going to be interesting. I really need to practice that. But anyway, that's going to be it for this flight. Hope you all enjoyed it. I'll see you on the next one.